Right.
Okay, bore da, we shall begin. Fe newn ni ddechrau. Felly, bore da a croeso i gyd i Ffair Wirfoddoli rhithiol CAFO. Mae CAFO yn cefnogi gwaith gwirfoddol yng Ngheredigion. Trwy gweithio yn agos gyda mudiadau ar draws y sir, i ni yn gallu darparu gwasanaeth i unigolion sydd â diddordeb yn gwirfoddoli ac i mudiadau sy'n cynnwys gwirfoddolwyr yn ei gwaith. Mae Lenny wedi bod yn wahanol iawn i'r arfer ac mae mudiadau wedi bod yn edrych ar sut i newid eu cyfleoedd gwirfoddoli fel ei bod dal yn gallu cefnogi unigolion ond hefyd dal i ymgysylltu gyda'i gwirfoddolwyr. Heddi, i ni yn mynd i edrych ar y cyfleoedd digidol sydd ar gael ar draws Ceredigion. Sut, os ych chi am wirfoddoli, gallwch gwneud trwy cefnogi pobl i fod ar-lein ac i ddefnyddio mwy o'i tabledi, iPads a ffonau symudol am rhesymau wahanol. Good morning to you all and welcome to CAFO's Digital Fair. CAFO supports voluntary work in Ceredigion. Through working closely with organisations throughout the county, we are able to provide a service to individuals who are interested in volunteering and to organisations who involve volunteers in their work. This year has been very different, but organisations have looked at how they can adapt their services to continue to support people and how they can continue to engage with their volunteers. Today, our focus will be on looking at some of the digital opportunities available across Ceredigion. How, if you wish to volunteer, you can do so by supporting people to get online and to use their tablets, their iPads and mobile phones more for a variety of reasons. Felly, dewch i ni gyflwyno i chi ymwediadau sydd gyda ni yma heddi. Let us introduce to you the organisations that we have with us here today. We have Jenny from Cymunedau Digidol Cymru, Digital Communities Wales. Bore da, morning Jenny. We have John from Age Cymru Dyfed. Lauren o Local Giving. Mark o Cymunedau Digidol Cymru, Digital Communities Wales. Rose o Mairus, a Gwyneth o Llyfrgell Genedlaethol Cymru, National Library of Wales. We will also have Kate presenting as well today. Kate, aelod o staff CAFO, sydd yn mynd i siarad am cysylltu Ceredigion. Kate, a CAFO staff member who will talk about the Ceredigion Connect platform. Fenw i yw Ruth, a dwi'n swyddog gwirfoddoli gyda CAFO, ac mae Trish, sef swyddog gwirfoddoli arall CAFO, yn mynd i fod yng nghofael y cwestiynau bore yma. My name is Ruth. I'm a volunteering officer with CAFO, and Trish, my colleague, also a volunteering officer, will be looking after the questions this morning. Bydd gan bob gyflwynydd tua 5 i 8 munud i siarad am eu cyfleoedd. Felly, os oes unrhyw sylw neu gwestiwn gyda chi tra'n gwylio, gallwch rhoi rhain yn yr adran sylwadau ac fe newn ni ceisio eu hateb i chi heddi. Hefyd, bydd y ffair yma yn gael ei recordio ac ar gael trwy Facebook i wylio'n hwyrach, ac hefyd gallwch chi wylio ar tudalen YouTube CAFO. Each presentation will be between 5 to 8 minutes long for each organisation this morning. If any of our viewers have any comments or any questions that you would like to ask, please type them into the comment section and we will do our best to get them answered for you today. And finally, this fair is being recorded and you will be able to view it again on Facebook, and you can also find it on the CAFO YouTube page. So let us begin with our presentations then, and I would like to ask Jenny from Digital Communities Wales to kick us off this morning. Bore da, morning Jenny, and thank you.
Bore da, good morning. Thank you very much to CAFO for inviting me. It's really nice to be here. Yeah, so I'm Jenny Phillips and I work for Digital Communities Wales. We're an organisation funded by the Welsh Government, and our aim is basically to help everybody in Wales get online. And at the moment, I'm working in partnership with a charity called AbilityNet. AbilityNet are a charity that is really focused on helping people with disabilities get online and make the most out of their technology. They're quite a big volunteer-led organisation with quite a lot of success in England and Scotland, but they've struggled to kind of develop a volunteering base in Wales, which is where I come in. And I'm hoping to develop a service across Wales that will help disabled people get online and make the most out of their technology. It's a free service that AbilityNet provides, run entirely by volunteers, and it's called IT Support at Home. And they do things like help people to choose equipment that might meet their particular needs and support their particular disability. They help people install and set up new hardware and software, diagnose software problems, improve their digital confidence, and support with how to shop online, make calls to friends, that sort of thing. I think that stage one of this is to try and recruit volunteers who can almost act as leaders and coordinators for their area. So what we're looking for really is people that can feel confident speaking to groups of other people, so or other organisations that might benefit from the IT Support at Home service. So going out and making links with disability groups and groups of older people in the local community to raise awareness of the service. And also part of the coordinator's role would be to help us to recruit other local volunteers and help to manage the referrals that might come in for the service. They provide full training to all their volunteers, and obviously prior to the pandemic they were going out to people's houses. Unfortunately that's not possible at the moment, but what they're doing is doing a lot of support remotely using TeamViewer. So they will remotely access people's devices, obviously with their consent. But volunteers are provided with full support for this. So we're looking for the coordinators to lead and develop this project across Wales, but particularly in Ceredigion. But we're also looking for the volunteers that can actually help deliver the support to people. So those people would be trained to use the TeamViewer platform. I think probably the best thing that I can do now is show you a video of some support that the project's been doing in England, just because it can say more eloquently what the volunteers get up to and how the support can help people. So I'm just going to hopefully share my screen now. There we go. I hope you can see this and hear it.
Finding AbilityNet was amazing. I was completely lost before, but now it keeps me strong, independent. I was very lost without it.
The volunteering service that we provide is home support for disabled and older people. So we would send out an IT expert for free to go to that person's house, solve any of their IT issues or problems, or show them how to use their IT at home. They'd go out there, provide the support in that person's home, and then it might be that they want some ongoing support over the following weeks or months as well, and they can provide that ongoing support so that they can maximise the use of anything that they've got at home. It could be from a smartphone to a PC to a laptop to even a television, anything that they've got at home that can really enhance their life and make things easier for them.
Working with Pankaj has given me lots of outlook, being able to do things for myself now. He sorted out my PC. I can use my iPad. I wouldn't have been able to do it beforehand. Sending emails, it's been amazing, and I couldn't do it before.
Helping people is in my nature, so I was looking for some sort of opportunity where I can utilize my skills and experience to help people by any means. Whatever skills we got, whatever expertise we got, we're there to help. And we assure them that once they are with us, the problem will get sorted.
It's a worthwhile charity and it's absolutely brilliant. It's for all disabilities, and thank God that it's there for people. AbilityNet, well, Pancart has been absolutely brilliant. So much support. I'd recommend it to anyone.
AbilityNet, adapting technology, changing lives.
Okay, I hope that was useful. Let me just stop that. Yeah, so I think what I want to get across to you is this is a really brilliant service. And I think that people in Wales deserve access to this service. So I want to help AbilityNet develop this across the whole of Wales. And I think they're a good organisation. They offer a lot of training and support to their volunteers. The commitment is about between 4 and 12 hours a month. So, and it's very flexible. So it can be whenever you kind of feel you want to give those hours. I think the kind of volunteer they're looking for is somebody with quite strong IT skills, somebody who's patient and somebody who's good at problem solving. Yeah, so I think if you're interested, please get in touch with me. It would be lovely to hear from you. And thanks for listening.
Lovely, thank you, Jenny, for that presentation. Trish, do we have any questions that have popped up for Jenny?
I've got a couple here, yeah. So Jenny, there's a question about the home, because the video showed people visiting people at home, and obviously due to COVID and the situation now, I was asking, is that still happening? How does that work now?
They're doing everything remotely at the moment. I mean, obviously, eventually they'd love to get back to home support, but they're doing everything using technology, TeamViewer. It's like a remote access platform. So they're getting consent from people and then they're logging into their machine and fixing problems that way. So that's how they're doing the support at the moment. I think they want to move back to doing more home support, but obviously it's just not possible at the moment.
Of course, brilliant. And the other one was about the training. So you mentioned about the kind of standard or kind of level of kind of ability that you possibly might need. Mm-hmm. Is there any training available to someone?
Yeah, I mean, full training on basic volunteer training, so how to support people, the kind of safeguarding and the kind of basic volunteering skills, those are all provided by AbilityNet, and they provide full training with TeamViewer. So to use this remote access platform, if you've never used it before, and I don't think many people have, they'll provide full training for that. But I think it is a role for somebody with quite a lot of IT skills already, somebody that feels confident in problem solving IT skills. It's more of that sort of a role, I think, than somebody with perhaps less IT skills.
That's brilliant, fantastic. Thank you for that, Jenny.
No problem.
Lovely, thank you, Jenny. Okay, we'll move on now to our second presentation, and I'd like to welcome John from Age Cymru Dyfed. Over to you, John.
Yes, good morning all. Thank you for inviting us to this event. I'm a volunteer with Age Cymru Dyfed, not one of the managers. And digital is one of my roles, which I enjoy doing. I can't compete with the last person. I'm afraid we haven't got a video or singing, dancing video show or whatever. So I'll just go through a few things that we do. We do an awful lot. Age Cymru does an awful lot for people over the age of 50. Digital is very important at the moment because everybody is stuck at home, isolated. This is one of the things that digital really helps with. We've got 15 volunteers across the region. That's not just in Ceredigion, that's across the 3 counties. And we could always do with more. Those 15 volunteers over the last couple of months have helped 214 people with their digital skills then, and getting a few people online. That's resulted in 286 sessions. So as you can see, some people just only need a call and sorted with their particular problem. A lot of people just wanted help with shopping. They can use their emails or whatever, and just needed to know how to do their shopping safely. Security is a big thing online as well. We've just got 80 tablets. I'm not sure if they were given to us or we bought them. It's for the befriending project. But the tablets are there for people who are isolated. Now, if you to need befriending, you're isolated. You're a single person or whatever, out in the sticks. So these tablets then will help people connect and feel part of a community. So we're doing that. One of our volunteers has produced a leaflet with basic skills on it, written in plain language so that people can understand it. It's not IT techno jargon. So that's available for people. Age UK have just launched their online resource site. Unfortunately, it's mainly for people with basic IT skills. It's just, again, plain language, gives them confidence to go further with their laptop or iPad, tablet, whatever. In the new year, providing COVID allows us to, we're going to be having digital groups scattered across the region, run by volunteers. So again, we're always looking for volunteers, like everybody else. We all need volunteers. As long as you're confident using a laptop or a tablet or even a phone, digital smartphone, we welcome you. The main quality then, because of people are over 50, is to instill confidence into people. So more of a people person rather than an IT wizard. As long as you can use an IT product confidently and instill this confidence into the user you're teaching, great, we'd welcome you. Statistically, I saw somewhere, I think it was Digital Wales, they've done a survey, 60% of the over 75s in Wales have no connection with any technology. 60% of over 75s, that's an awful lot of people. We need an awful lot of volunteers to reach these people and to teach them the benefits. A lot of people just want to learn how to shop. When you show them all the benefits that they can get from their iPad or whatever, it's great. It opens a world to them. They're really excited about it. We also teach, we have taught, and in fact that was me who taught them, blind people, severely sight restricted people to use an iPad. So it's all sorts of people, you know, horses for courses. You know, well, just volunteer, it's great. I don't know if I could make this last 5 or 8 minutes, but like I say, we're always looking for volunteers across 3 regions. There's always plenty to do. Unfortunately, as previous person said, face-to-face isn't being done at the moment. We have 48 people, 48, that's an awful lot of people, waiting for face-to-face tuition, basically because they got no IT skills and it wouldn't be practical to try and do that over the phone. There are an awful lot of people out there. Okay, thank you very much for listening. That's just something that we do, and we'd welcome you on board. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And it is nice to have a volunteer come to one of our events. And you know, talk about your experience. I mean, as you say, you're not a staff member of Age Cymru, David, you're a volunteer, and, you know, what you do is great, and you're a good ambassador then for Age Cymru and for volunteering as a whole. So thank you for giving us your time this morning and coming to talk to us. Trish, do we have any nice little questions for John?
There's an age limit question, John, which is about how young can a person be to help? Because I think she's 17, she says, and she can be quite interested to help because she says she's helped her gran and stuff to do kind of FaceTime and stuff over this kind of first lockdown, and she was wondering, is there a restriction her age for you?
There is no age limit. Even probably 15, 16 left school would probably be appropriate, but there is no lower age limit for people who want to volunteer.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's brilliant. That's good for us to know to start with. Fantastic. And for me, I wanted to ask, is there a kind of a commitment time now, that roughly a couple of hours a week? What's your kind of, what would you ask volunteers to do?
I've got to be honest, there is no time requirement in as such. I'm doing this today. I don't like doing over the phone IT. I'd rather do face to face. That's me. That's my preference. So I haven't done a great deal recently. So there is no, you've got to do 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week. You fit it in when you're available, and it's matched with the person who needs the help, along with yourself. You find a suitable time to do this.
So that sounds really flexible.
Yeah, very
well, working potentially, but working from home, and may have a little bit more time. That could open up a lot of different people that could volunteer for you. Maybe you were traditionally, they may be working 9 to 5 and traveling each time in the morning and the evening, and wouldn't be able to maybe.
Well, a lot of people were at part-time, so
yeah,
people
of course.
who are part-time like to volunteer to do something. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great, John. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you, John. Diolch, John. Okay, move on then. And I'd like to ask Lauren now from Local Giving, please.
Brilliant. I'm going to share my screen as well. There we go. Can you see that all right? There we are. Okay, so this service is really both for organisations that are looking for volunteers and for individuals that want to volunteer their time as well. So it's appropriate for both. So to give some background to Local Giving that's running this service. So Local Giving itself is a not-for-profit. So we work ordinarily with small and medium-sized charities and community groups across the UK to specifically help them with their fundraising. So ordinarily, we're helping them to work out how they can raise as much income as possible from individuals. And that is largely focused around online fundraising anyway, which is obviously even more important in the current situation. And we'll help them to work out how they can attract donations and monthly direct debits and raise money towards specific things and encourage fundraisers. So ordinarily, that's our focus. Since the pandemic, we've specifically helped organisations to raise money in response to COVID, either to continue vital work or adapt work or launch new projects or whatever it is really that they need. So we've really been helping organisations in whatever way they've required it to have the income they need to keep going. Within that, it's become really clear that they need remote volunteers. And so for anyone that's a member of Local Giving, we've launched a volunteer service. That essentially means that they can request a volunteer to help them with any aspect of their work, any task, so long as the volunteer can do it remotely from wherever they're based. So it's a digital volunteering service, an online volunteering service. So a volunteer could do something from their own home that utilises a skill or a time that they have available to help the charities with whatever they need. There are a whole range of skills, which I'll give you some examples of, and a whole range of tasks. But it essentially means that organisations that either don't have the skills to be working online and remotely, as suddenly everyone's having to do, or where they're volunteer based, who'd usually be helping them face to face, or maybe doesn't have these skills, you know, aren't able to help them in the same way, and they need to work with a new set of individuals, you know, and, you know, even things like lockdowns, then it means it doesn't prohibit the volunteering from taking place because it is online volunteering. So I'll show you what that looks like as well. So when a volunteer signs up, they sign up through this page. They essentially just give a few basic bits of information and just highlight what their main skills are or what areas they're most interested in helping an organisation with. They are then able to create a profile if they want to, and they're able to self-select which volunteering tasks they're most interested in. Alongside that, they also come through to myself, and I'm able to suggest appropriate volunteering opportunities to them as well. So we can either have a conversation, or they can self-select which tasks they're most interested in, and then I can pair them with that charity, and they can go forward in helping them as well. So the volunteer tasks are really a whole range of time commitments. They're specifically broken into 3 categories anyway. So there's short-term tasks that might be something that just takes a few hours. You know, for example, a charity wants to, you know, have help with designing a new logo or something, you know, it's a one-off task like that. There are long-term tasks. So for example, if they need help with digital marketing over a longer period of time, or they, you know, need some website redesign now that they're having to really raise awareness of what they're doing. And then there's also an advice option. So a lot of organisations, they don't necessarily need ongoing help with something, but they really need to chat through either some issues or you know, something that they want to do with someone who that's their area of expertise. Often the tasks that charities request do relate to their fundraising. So like I said, things to do with their website, things to do with social media, but there's every sort of task that's requested as well. So for example, financial help, people wanting to explore, you know, new finance systems or something like that, and also things like helpline volunteers, you know, people to be able to chat to certain groups of people that the organisation is working with as well. So there's all sorts of volunteers that are needed, and the way we've launched the service is we've gathered a lot of volunteer tasks before we've launched. So it means from the off then, volunteers have a lot of tasks they can choose from. They're not sitting waiting to, you know, wait for opportunities to become available. So in that sense, if a volunteer would really like to help out with something, you know, perhaps they are a student who's had, you know, work experience cancelled, or, you know, having to constantly self-isolate in their room when a housemate has, you know, COVID or something like that. Or, you know, they're someone who's got a bit more free time on their hands because they, you know, are a freelancer that's maybe not as busy as they were, or someone who, you know, isn't quite back to working full time or anything with furlough, you know, absolutely anyone, you know, just got a bit more spare time in the evenings with things not going on. It's really flexible volunteering. You could just do a one-off task. You could do, you know, task after task if you want to be doing lots of different things. And it can either be you just really helping out, or you building up experience, helping a range of charities as well. This is just some examples of some of the opportunities available. A couple of these are in Wales. Yeah, so basically your opportunity, if you're an organisation who needs a volunteer, will appear like this. And then as a volunteer, you can see the background of the charity, the skills they've said, you know, maybe if you have one of these skill sets, you might be able to help there, and what they've highlighted as the mission length, as it were. So this person just needs a chat to gain some IT technology help. You know, this person just needs a little bit of short-term help with admin. You know, it can really be anything there as well that they're requesting. So if you're an individual who's really keen to have a look at that and volunteer, you can sign up here, so localgiving.org/volunteering. You know, you can have a look through the tasks anyway, even before signing up. It's completely free and very, very quick to sign up. So if there's something you want to do, you know, definitely go ahead and explore that. And it'll be myself then that'll be in touch. But if you do want to have a chat at all before that, my contact details are on the screen there too. If you're an organisation that is looking to request volunteers, If you're already a local giving member, then that's great. You can log into your account and do that straight away. If you're not, then please do get in touch and I can speak to you about, you know, being able to begin requesting volunteers as well and what that will entail. Brilliant. So that's me. That's kind of the overview of how you can get involved with Local Giving's new volunteering service there too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lauren. That sounds like a brilliant scheme that you've got going there. Thank you for sharing that with us this morning. Trish, any questions for Lauren?
Well, Lauren, you had kind of answered already because someone asked about local opportunities. So you mentioned those Wales ones, but can I be really specific? And do you know if there's any active opportunities in Ceredigion? This person is quite keen to help someone that they feel a connection with locally.
Yeah, so two answers to that really. One is that sometimes volunteers do request a particular location. So that might be a wider location. So, you know, it might be someone saying, I want to help a charity somewhere in Wales as a whole, or it might be, you know, something much more local. So if that's the case, then, you know, I'll definitely do my best to match up. Equally, if there's an area, like I had a volunteer this week who only wanted to work with youth charities, you know, so I can really match up with what they request. There are a number of Wales volunteering opportunities, and that's because ordinarily I'm running a Wales fundraising programme. So I work quite closely with a lot of Wales organisations anyway, so I'm making sure that they're signing up and, you know, getting their volunteers as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that I could offer a few opportunities that are local, obviously depending on their skills as well, you know, whether those were relevant opportunities to them.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lauren.
Lovely, thank you, Lauren. Thank you for joining us this morning as well. Okay, moving on now then, I'd like to introduce Mark. Mark o cymunedau Digidol Cymru, Digital Communities Wales. Over to you, Mark. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr, Ruth. Bore da, and good morning, everyone. I'm going to attempt to share my screen as well, so hold with me a second. Right. Oh, where to go back to the start? That's a good start. Right. Anybody see that? Lovely. Okay. Well, following on from obviously the digital theme of today, and there's a fair bit of similarities between a lot of what people are discussing. But today I'm going to be informing you of the service we have within Digital Communities Wales, which is called Digital Companions, and I'll go into that in a bit more depth in a second. Just a little bit about Digital Communities Wales. It's a Welsh Government programme. My colleague Jenny spoke earlier on about the Ability Net work we're doing. Digital Community Wales, as I said, it's digital health, digital confidence, health and well-being. It's a programme that's been running since 2019, and it's a 6-year programme through to 2025. So the service is going to be around for quite a long time. So do look into us if there's something you think you need support with, because you know, it's a service that's going to be free for that considerable amount of time, and has got quite a bit to offer, as well as what we've just presented today. So you know, do get in touch with us if you've got any interest. Okay, Digital Companion support through a trusted face, cyfleoedd Digidol. Very similar to, I'll be touching on quite a few similarities to what John mentioned around the work Age Dyfed are doing. But we have got 3 models of digital volunteering within Digital Communities Wales. I also like to refer to it as assisted digital, because sometimes people are helping others, but they don't realise that they don't recognise themselves as being volunteers. So we'll touch on that throughout the presentation as well, because they may be members of social groups, or they may be doing something in their community or with a friend or family member or a neighbour, but not necessarily seeing themselves as a volunteer. So there could be opportunities there that could be wider. So the 3 models we've got are the Digital Heroes, which is an intergenerational programme where from anything from primary age school children right through to youth groups, we'd give them a training course, and then they'd go out post training into their communities and deliver a digital session, either in the community setting, in a library, in a care home, anywhere where there's a need to pass those skills on to others. Unfortunately, due to circumstances of COVID, the Heroes has been on stop since February, and we haven't done anything there since, really. Kids are going back to school now, and things are, we'll see how things pan out, I suppose, in the new year with the Heroes and the intergenerational work. Companions, I will be talking to you about today. Champions then is another element of work we do. I think that would be more relevant to Jenny's presentation at the start today. We see companions as being kind of peer-to-peer or one-to-one support and a more kind of slow building kind of level of confidence of digital. We see champions then as being like a one-to-many, someone who's got the an innate digital skills and is quite confident and comfortable in maybe teaching groups, or a team leader within a team within an organization or within a department, that type of thing. So there is a distinct difference there. Anyway, companions is what we're focusing on today, and it's all about building digital skills. What's it all about, and why are we fussing about digital all the time? Well, I call this the kind of tech soup. I keep adding to this. This slide is probably about 3 or 4 years old, and every month almost I'm adding an extra thing to it. Most of us in the third sector or supporting the third sector are working to the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. So you'll see the 7 goals in the circle at the top left-hand corner there. In my view, and what we've always said since the Act came into power, was digital is like a common thread between each of those segments of the Act, each of those key deliverables. So it's a really, really important part of how organisations delivering to the Act, delivering services to the community, and across Wales, really. Other things other images on this page will be relevant to some, but in general, you're either kind of forced to use technology because you have to, things like universal jobs match or universal credit, or you might want to be in a social media group or a group or part of the social networking movement. So, there's drivers, and there's things that push you to use it, and there's things that you just want to use it. The NHS app is one of some of the recent stuff, and also the cashless society since COVID. That's a growing area where more transactions are being done digitally now than ever. So it's imperative that there is support out there to help those that can't do this. And the learning element as well. The things like the artificial intelligence and the Alexas and the kind of Google smart speakers type of thing. A lot of those now can be used in different ways that possibly we hadn't considered in the past. So, and it's a continually evolving field, really. This map, as I said, changes kind of monthly. However, digital inclusion is what we're about, and what is clear and why and how Companions was developed is that we all consume and use digital differently. I think John mentioned horses for courses, and so it is so true, really. There is no one size that fits all. So even though we all kind of log on and use this, this massive online network called the World Wide Web, we all consume it, use it, and have interest in it differently. So it's really, really important that you focus on that when supporting another person that is in need. We are driven by the statistics generated by the National Survey for Wales, and as you say in this graph, there's the over 50 element, as John mentioned, is predominantly the ones that are kind of cited as mostly being offline or being, this is an old slide actually, it's probably higher than that now. So a lot of the focus of the work is with senior citizens and in that age category. However, this isn't the true reflection of the bigger picture, even though this kind of highlights those that are technically not regular users of the internet. What it doesn't pick up is that the services provided to these people are often delivered by people with low digital skills or low digital confidence as well. So people in work delivering services to these 5 key areas or priority groups, often you will see that the services haven't got digital embedded within it. So our work in digital communities is regularly to upskill the people that are kind of reaching the staff and the organizations and the services that are reaching these critical areas. So this is kind of, as I said, the assisted digital element of it. What we find a lot with the senior citizens, especially in the care environment, this has been highlighted a lot through COVID, was, there is, in some instances, without that assisted digital support, that's the only way some of these people will ever experience the positives of what the internet has to offer. So it is a critical role to play. And obviously, as I said, some staff and some organisations also find the frustration with it. And again, this has come to light considerably since February and COVID. So how did it come about, the companion? Well, it's built on some evidence. The Lloyd's Consumer Index do a yearly digital consumer index report. And I think this was 2017. They recognised that you're far more likely to go online if a friend, a family, or someone you know helps you. So that support through a trusted face is critical, because it's the peer-to-peer element of the companion model is what makes it work. It's a really, really simple model, very similar to what John was mentioning. You don't have to be a tech expert to do this. However, it's so engaging and so powerful if you can take someone on this journey. Digital inclusion skills, then, so all of us on the panel today and listening into this presentation, if you are assessing your own digital skills, there's a UK national digital inclusion framework. So you're measured against 5 separate skills, really. So all of us will have a range of skills across these 5 areas. Some will be stronger in some than others. It all depends on how you consume digital, how you use it in your workplace, and how is it relevant to you. So it's not you don't want to be 10 out of 10 in every one of them, but it's that is the measure really, when we are informing companions at the training stage, these are the kind of skills you'll be looking for in the people you're supporting. And then making that relevant to those individuals then around where they find the weakness is and where they need to kind of start building confidence in specific areas. So we have got courses that cover elements of all of these skills. There's a 6-week essential skills course, for example. The companions training will cover a broad summary of them all. And often we do inspiring sessions then with specific organisations around the support, the services they deliver to their specific client group. So there's a range of courses. I'll give you a link at the end to some of those that are live at the moment. The qualities then. So being a companion, very much like John also mentioned this, so these are the things that are involved in the training. We try and build the confidence of the companion around these elements, or the qualities they need. We try and make their skin a little bit thicker, because they will experience knockbacks from these individuals. It's a constant theme of trying to encourage someone who maybe is a bit of a, not interested in technology, or perhaps they've had a bad experience in the past. So very often you've got to be, you need these mixture of qualities to break through and make the individual you're supporting see that technology does play a part or is beneficial to them. So we've had successes across many sectors. Again, as I mentioned, the support through a trusted face and maybe not seeing themselves as volunteers. We've worked a lot within social groups, established social groups like Merched y Wawr, for example. A group with a membership age that would fit some people that would be possibly digitally excluded or have low digital skills. So, but then they have trusted faces within that group that have the ability to help others. So, that's worked really well in settings like that. We've worked with the RVS as well in North Wales, like a men's sheds movement. So it does fit, you can adapt it to fit many scenarios, and it does work well within social groups like that. We've worked in care homes where people with an interest in technology are helping others. Macmillan Volunteers, I think that's a group in Llanelli that we supported about 6 months ago. We've also worked with a befriending volunteer program in Neirin Bevan Health Board. The Friendly Me program is an award-winning program offering kind of early intervention support in the community with people with kind of with quite high-level needs. And the companion model was introduced alongside the whole Friendly Me package. And now it is part and parcel of that package going on an ongoing basis. So they've embedded digital, every volunteer going through that scheme will have the digital companion training as part and parcel of their induction pack, and it is then it's used in the field then when they go out and do the befriending service. So there's a bit of a call out here today. Obviously, one of the main reasons I'm here is we're working closely at the moment with the commissioning department of the Ceredigion County Council around the adult support services, especially parental support. So at the moment, we want to try and adapt the companion model to fit in to organisations delivering family support services in Ceredigion. There's a small package of support available to subsidise that. And obviously, Digital Communities Wales will take the organisations that fit the criteria through all of the training and the support needed to be able to have those volunteers or assisted digital members within teams delivering these services. So it's quite a specific call out. This is to the Flying Start and the Family Start services delivering across the county, and for us then to work with those organisations delivering those services to embed digital within the work they do. I've also put at the bottom there, if there are champions within these organizations, if there's a team leader within these organizations as well, the champion training is also available. That is another offer we have within the program. But specifically at the moment, we want to start with the companion, the peer-to-peer, the one-to-one support. And again, the skill set there is around supporting parents of young families to embrace digital and help them to get connected and stay online and improve their lives through that. So I feel really strongly that there's within all of us there's a companion, and there is not that far away from where we all live someone that needs help. So dwi'n credu'n gryf bod y cyfle Digidol yn ymwneud. The model is simple, and it's been purposefully built simple because it works. But the key to it all is it's adaptable to many situations. So volunteering covers such a wide berth of opportunities. This model has to be adapted then to suit whoever the clients are supporting. It's pointless you kind of just having a pool of digital volunteers and picking from it and handing them over to people. The volunteer needs to feel rewarded, and as the organisation's capacity as well. So it's really important that we get that balance right. But the critical thing with a companion is, there's no need to be a tech expert. It's just a befriending, helping hand service to move people along slowly. There's a list of some of the training we've got live up till Christmas, which includes some companion training actually, but that's more generic. What we've got, the call out for Ceredigion is quite bespoke, really. So we will be adapting and tailoring that specifically around family services. And there's always a range of courses live with across Digital Communities Wales. So anything you keep an eye on our website, and we can and there's always again a couple of months program in advance up there live. That's all from me.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Mark. Thank you very much, Mark. Trish, do we have any comments or questions for Mark?
Yeah, I wanted to ask from Karen's question earlier. She was a young lady, 17, about the companion role. Would that be open to her as a young person, Mark?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at them live. Yeah, yes, of course. And if she's interested in finding out a bit more about what the role involves, we'd encourage her to access the training. The training's half a day. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours training, but it opens up links as well to we've got partner organisations, national partner organisations, Digital Unite and the Good Things Foundation. So it opens up then the ability to access a wealth of resources. I think Digital Unite have got 400 digital resources that you can use then as a companion to help others. Access to things like the Learn My Way platform, and we can offer that to organisations as well. So if an organisation wants to become an online centre and offer these digital e-learning sessions to their client group, they'll also get the data behind that then as and when their staff or members use it. So it is an extensive offer, and it's on a long-term ongoing basis really.
Fantastic, brilliant. My other question from me was with the role in Ceredigion and with the families. So, if I was a mum that was have been attending maybe a family centre or yeah, because I attended a Lampard Family Centre when my kids were younger, and I thought, well, I could help somebody, you know, kind of, I can do my email, I can do social media, I can do FaceTime, you know, and I'm not a whiz, far from it, but, you know, would I be the kind of person that you would be wanting to attract potentially then for that particular service in Ceredigion?
I think so. You know, there'll be a range of skill sets that come forward. I'm sure. You know, the issue we're all battling with at the moment is the COVID issue, and but again, I think through those groups you mentioned, like the social networks around family centres at the moment, the Connect Ceredigion service that you'll be talking about later, I think there is scope for us to try and maximise the potential of those to reach as many people as we can, because of the circumstances we're in, really. Ideally, it would be, you know, a neighbour, and you could pop in for a cup of tea and sit around a computer. But you know, we've got to find a workaround at the moment. It's not feasible in many cases unless you are part of a bubble, and it's fine to do so, sort of thing. But yeah, I think, you know, we wouldn't discard anybody from coming forward. Yeah. But again, as I say, it's quite important, and John mentioned it. It is horses for courses. You know, you need to be, more than likely in this scenario, you need to be an experienced parent to pass on skills, you know, to the client group that we're talking about, you know. So it is important in that particular call that, you know, you would have had that background experience.
Brilliant. Thank you. Fantastic. Yeah.
Lovely. Diolch yn fawr iawn I ti, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for joining us this morning. And I'll pass on now then to Kate. Kate, who is going to talk to us about the Connect to Kindness, I think, campaign?
Connect Ceredigion.
Connect Ceredigion, that's the one. I always get that one wrong. I'm so known by now, shouldn't I? I'll pass over to Kate. Thanks, Kate.
I'm just going to give a whistle-stop tour, really. Let me share my screen. Right, so Connect Ceredigion is a Skillshare platform and a way of people, individuals and organisations in communities of getting in touch with each other and sharing skills. So today we're particularly talking about digital skills, but I thought if I just gave a quick whiz around the platform to show you. So when you go to the website, this is what it looks like. You can browse the website without joining and have a look. We've got news stories. There's sort of, you can have a look and see what different organisations are doing, looking at their community listings, and you can see who else is there. But if you want to offer some help or you want to connect with someone else who is already on there, you need to register for the platform. It's really simple. There's a very quick registration process. If you want to then sign up to the time bank so you can share your skills, that's a little bit more lengthy, but it's not difficult at all. Just asking some questions about where you are and what sort of things you enjoy and what sort of skills you've got that you could share. And then once you've done that, you'll have a little avatar. So you can put in a picture and share a little bit about yourself. If you're signing up to the time bank, we ask for a reference. So there's a sort of a security check, but again, it's not too arduous, just to make sure everybody stays safe on the platform. We already have a couple of offers for digital skills on the platform. So you can put in what you're comfortable with sharing. So we've got one with sort of basic IT, and then someone saying they can offer IT support in the evenings and weekends. So this chap is obviously offering his skills around work. So really flexible. Really you can fit in with whatever you've got to offer, whatever time you've got that you can share, and whatever you are happy with doing. That's the link for the site, and also my email if anybody wants to get in touch and ask any more questions. Don't want to go into it in too much detail, but if anybody does want to get in touch, I'm more than happy to talk through how to log in, how to sign up, you know, any questions about what you might want to do. Okay.
Lovely, thank you, Kate. I don't know, Trish, if you've got any questions for Kate, or do we just...
It was just a quick comment from a lady saying that it sounds a little bit more informal than some of the other descriptions this morning.
Yeah, very much so. It's much more about you being responsible personally for what skills you want to share and what you're happy with doing with somebody else. It's about you connecting with somebody from your community or someone fairly local, and helping them through something they're struggling with. And then hopefully on the platform, if you've got something you need help with, you can also ask for help with that as well. So, you know, I might need help setting up my computer to use Zoom, and I might be able to bake someone a lovely cake. Really, for whatever people have got to offer.
I'll go for that option, that's fine. Cake is fine for me, brilliant, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
I think Kate might possibly be baking cakes for a lot of people. To that comment, thank you, Kate. Okay, I'd like to introduce Rose now. Rose is from Myris, and Rose will mention to us the opportunities that they currently have. Thank you, Rose.
Hiya. So yeah, I'm Rose. I'm from Myris. We're a charity that works across Wales supporting adults with learning disabilities. So like everyone else over this year, we've had increased focus on digital things, getting people online, using the technology to connect with other people, to access services, all that kind of stuff. So in response to that, we've introduced a new volunteering role this year that is a digital champions role. So you've already heard from Mark about very similar roles. So we're one of the organisations that's actually worked with Digital Communities Wales to introduce this new role and to provide training to these new volunteers. So the role of the digital champion within Myris is a role where we will match you up with somebody with support or a few people with support that need some extra help with their technology. You don't need any digital skills beyond the basics to be a volunteer, and we will provide the training to you to do whatever you need to do to support that person that you're matched with. Similar to everyone else, it's digital. In the long term, we'd like to see it being more in person when we're able to do that. But in the time being, it'll be at the basics of things, ringing people and talking them through things maybe on the phone. If they're able to use video calls, you know, doing things that way. So it's all volunteering at the moment that you can do safely from your home. We're welcoming volunteers aged 17 and above. This opportunity is really flexible. It can fit around other commitments. So if you've got work or college or school, or whatever else, it can work around that. So it can be in the evenings or weekends if you'd like. The commitment's really flexible. So it's as much or as little time as you'd really like to give. We'd probably say maybe an hour a fortnight at the minimum, but it really is what you make of it. As I said, we're an organisation that works with adults with learning disabilities. So alongside the opportunities we have for digital training and supporting people to get online, we also provide different training in a range of different sort of health and social care related things. So if you're someone who's looking for experience to get into that field, we're a great organisation to volunteer with. And also if you volunteer for a digital champions role, that could lead to another role with us. So we also have sort of befriending roles and different community roles that we hope will develop a bit more as we can meet up in person again, maybe next year or whenever that is. So yeah, that's a very short and sweet version of what we're offering. It's Digital Champions. Everyone's welcome to apply and get in touch and have a chat about the role.
Brilliant, thank you, Rose. Diolch. Trish, any questions?
It was a comment from me, if that's okay, Rose. So in the last kind of couple of months, definitely Ruth and 9K, we've had queries from people looking to complete their Welsh back hours, people who are doing health and social care, their social work, nursing qualifications, and linked to health and social care qualification. So you'd be quite open for those kind of volunteers that are looking, obviously they're on their career path and they're looking for experience, and volunteering is one of the ways to get that you could be offering that particular opportunity through this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very happy to sort of sign off hours, to offer references, but also to work with each individual to maybe identify if there's a particular experience or different training needs that they'd like to fulfill. So yeah, we're happy to work with individuals to find what we can offer them.
Brilliant, that's great, fantastic. Thank you very much, Rose.
Lovely. Thank you, Rose. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you for joining us this morning. And finally, yn ola, hoffwn ni wahodd Gwyneth o Llyfrgell Genedlaethol Cymru, the National Library of Wales, to give us our final presentation of the morning. Bore da, Gwyneth. Diolch i chi.
Helo, bore da i chi gyd. Diolch am gael ymuno chi heddi. Good morning to you all. Gwyneth ydw i, rwy'n cydlynu gwirfoddolwyr yn y Llyfrgell Genedlaethol yn Aberystwyth. I'm Gwyneth, I'm the Volunteers Coordinator for the National Library. A yn fwy a fwy dros y blynyddoedd diwetha yma, yn ogystal â croesawu gwirfoddolwyr mewn i adeilad y Llyfrgell, mae'r Llyfrgell yn awyddus iawn i estyn allan i bobl trwy Gymru gyfan i gynnig golwg iddyn nhw ar yn casgliadau ni, sef y casgliadau sy'n berchen i ni gyd yng Nghymru, a hefyd i Gymru rhan i helpu ni i ddarparu gwell mynediad at y casgliadau hynny. So over the past few years, as well as welcoming volunteers physically to the library building, we're very keen to share our national collections with the people of Wales, and of course online is the way that we can do that. So I'm going to ask Kate very kindly if she can pop over to my a very short PowerPoint presentation that I've literally given her a couple of minutes ago. So diolch yn fawr, Kate, am hynna. So this is my contact details, gwirfoddoli@llyfrgell.cymru. There's just myself and my colleague Eilir who deliver the volunteering scheme. A gyn ni yna bob amser i gefnogi gwirfoddolwyr boed ar y ffôn neu ar-lein. I ni yna i'ch helpu chi. We're there to support you with your volunteering tasks. So, wy'n gweld bod yna gyfle bendigedig i ni i sôn, i gydweithio gyda lot o bobl i ni wedi clywed wrthyn nhw bore yma'n barod, achos beth sydd gyda ni yw tasgau. A gobeithio falle bydd rhai bobl sydd wedi cael chydig o help i fynd ar-lein ac i datblygu hyder yn gallu helpu ni gyda rhai o'r tasgau yma. So there's a great opportunity for us to work in partnership with some of the people you've already heard from this morning, because what we have are online tasks for people that we'd like their help with. So hopefully when you've got the confidence to do a little bit more online, then maybe these are some tasks that we can ask people to help us with. We try and make sure there's tasks there for all ages and all abilities. So I'm going to take you through the first task I've got to offer is this digital image tagging, tagio delweddau digidol. Mae'r Llyfrgell wedi rhannu y partneriaeth yw hon gyda Wikipedia, a mae'r Llyfrgell wedi rhannu casgliadau ni o bortreadau a tirluniau a rhoi nhw ar Wikipedia. So this is a partnership project with Wikipedia, and the library has shared their portraits and their landscapes collections. And what we're asking people to do is to identify items within those images. So we're asking you to tag things and locations that appear in these artworks. It's quite a new concept for describing digital images, but it allows you to pick out individual items within an image. For instance, it could be a person, it could be a boat or a hat. So I've just brought up, this is what a tagged image might look like. Dyma beth gall delwedd sydd wedi cael ei dagio edrych fel. A gwedwch chi nawr bod chi'n edrych am luniau o ffidil wedwn ni. Fe welwch chi fyna yn y cornel ar y dde fyna bod violin wedi dagio. Y cyfan i chi'n neud, i chi'n cael y tagiau, a wedyn mae hynna yn rhoi ffwythiant i chi wedyn le chi'n gallu tynnu sgwar o gwmpas beth bynnag yw'r tag. You're given the tags, so you click on the tag, and then that allows you to draw a square around the image, what's been tagged. So if you were looking for a violin, you'd search for a violin, and then you'd have the images of everything that's been tagged as a violin would come up to you as a choice of something you could look at. Felly mae hwn yn mynd i fod yn adnodd da ar gyfer ymchwilwyr ac unrhyw un sy'n edrych am eitem unigol, sy'n chwilio am eitem unigol. it's a lovely way to look at our portraits and our landscapes collections. There's no pressure in that you have to finish anything within a given set of time or whatever. We're grateful for any help you can give us. So we'll provide you with a spreadsheet that will have hyperlinks to these tags, and all you'll have to do is click on the hyperlink and then click on the tags in order to draw a square around the photographs. And moving on to the next slide, tasech chi nawr yn edrych, bo chi'n edrych am, gwedwch am arf beisiau, if you were looking for coats of arms. So this is the type of thing that you would be presented with, which would give you a choice of all the coats of arms that have been tagged within the various images and photographs within the collection. Felly, dyna'r math o beth. So, mae'n eitha ail-adroddllyd, ond yn bersonol, wy'n ffindio tasgau ail-adroddllyd yn eitha therapeutig a gweud y gwir. It's quite repetitive, but repetitive tasks can sometimes be very relaxing and very therapeutic. So if you're looking to de-stress, this might be the task for you. Moving on i'r sleid nesaf, mae'r llyfrgell wedi, dros y blynyddoedd diwetha, wedi datblygu llwyfan yn hunain fel bod ni'n gallu cynnig casgliadau a gofyn i chi helpu gyda wahanol dasgu ar y casgliadau hynny. The library over the past few years has created a crowdsourcing platform, so we can open up our collections to people all over the world. And the platform is torf.llyfrgell.cymru. Now, most of the projects that were on the platform have been completed during lockdown, unsurprisingly. I mean, the whole point of presenting this platform was, as well as being something for researchers to look at, was to offer people meaningful tasks to do from their home. Ni'n ymwybodol bod yna lot o bobl falle ddim yn gallu gadael eu cartrefi oherwydd pob math o resymau gwahanol. A i ni'n awyddus iawn bod nhw'n gallu cael gweithgaredd ystyrlon, bod nhw'n teimlo bod nhw'n cyfrannu i gymdeithas, falle bod nhw ddim yn gadael eu cartre, bod nhw'n gallu cyfrannu yn fawr iawn. So the whole point of our crowdsourcing platform is to help researchers, obviously, but anybody who wants to help us, because we are aware that there may be a lot of people who are, for whatever reason, unable to leave their home. So we like to think this might be a meaningful task for you to complete from your home, and you really will be helping us to make these collections accessible to the people of Wales and all over the world. So the work what you're doing to help us is really, really important and valuable. Felly, as I said, the projects that are already up there have been completed. You can go online and have a look at the project. We've got the Cuffing Williams diaries that we've just finished transcribing, 10 years worth of diaries that have been transcribed. There's a lovely collection of photographs from the 1960s and 70s from Blaenau Ffestiniog area up there. But, you know, although they're from the Blaenau Ffestiniog area, they're typical, they're carnivals, chapels, churches, the types of photographs you would see in any area of Wales during the 60s and 70s. So it really is a lovely collection to look at. Now, within the next fortnight, she says, crossing her fingers, there will be a new project up there. And this project, unlike most of the other projects that have been there, is actually for Welsh speakers, because it's the collection of Dr. Ngheredigion Evans and Phyllis Kinney. I ni wedi, yn 2018, fi o'n i'n ddigon ffodus i gael archif amhrisiadwy Maired a Phyllis Kinney yn cael ei roi i'r Llyfrgell Genedlaethol. A fel chi'n gwybod, mae Maired a Phyllis wedi bod yn allweddol i faes cerddoriaeth draddodiadol yng Nghymru dros y blynyddoedd. Ac mae yna filoedd o gardiau mynegau sy'n cynnwys gwybodaeth am ganeuon gwerin, alawon, hwyan gerddi ac yn y blaen. A i ni'n gofyn i chi'n helpu ni i drawsgrifio, i gopio yr wybodaeth sydd yn y cardiau yma. So moving on to the next slide, what you'll see is, sorry, I think that slide was meant, that's my fault. We'll go on to the next slide again. So this will show you, dyma chi, be fyddwch chi'n gweld pan i chi'n agor y prosiect, fyddwch chi'n gweld y cerdyn mynegau ar yr ochr chwith, a wedyn ar yr ochr dde, mi fydd na focsys wedyn i chi lanw, i roi gwybodaeth i ni am beth sydd yn y cerdyn yna. Felly byddwn ni'n gofyn i chi am gopio beth yw'r hwyanger sydd ar y garden yna, A wedyn, os oes yna enw lle yn yr hwiangyrdd, ni'n gofyn i chi nodi hwnnw. I ni hefyd yn gofyn i chi os oes gyda chi unrhyw atgofion personol am yr hwiangyrdd yma. Falle bod hi'n rhywbeth oedd eich magu yn arfer canu chi pan o'ch chi'n blentyn bach yn y blaen. Felly mae cyfle i chi roi gwybod i ni am atgofion personol o'r cerdyn. A wedyn mae'r wybodaeth yna i gyd yn mynd mewn i'r system ac yn cael ei gofnodi. When you first come on to our crowdsourcing platform, it'll ask you to register. So all we ask for is your email address, and you need to create a password. And it's really important you remember that password because you'll need that every time you come onto our crowdsourcing platform. And then when you register, we also ask for a username. And that's the name that will appear. Once you've worked on one of our images on the platform, a name will appear then under the image you worked on. So if you don't want your whole name up there, if you don't want people to know who you are, you can put in another name, but something you recognise, and I'll show you later on how that's displayed. Felly, mae yna lot fawr o waith I wneud ar y cardiau mynegau yma, a byddwch chi'n gyfrifol am ddod ar hwiangerddi ar yr awon gweri yma yn fyw I bobl Cymru trwy'n helpu ni gyda'r prosiect yna. Moving on to the next slide. Now, within the next month or so, we're going to be popping this project up on our crowdsourcing platform. These are our 19th century photo albums collection. And there's hundreds of images there relating to Wales and its people between 1850 and 1900, and it captures day-to-day scenes as well as recording social and economic changes in Wales as well. So moving on to the next slide. Now, does gyda ni ddim llawer o wybodaeth am y lluniau sydd yn yr albymau yma. We haven't got much information about the photographs within these albums. Sometimes there's a title, sometimes there's a date, sometimes there's a little bit more information, but more often than not, there isn't. Now, as you can see on this page, a lot of the time there's just one image on a page, but on this particular page, there are 5 different images. So on the right-hand side here, you'll see the type of thing we're asking you to do. So we want you to draw, first of all, a square around the image that you're going to describe. Then you see there the type of image, then record any captions. So if there are, you can see there's Plas y Bryn there, so that would be a caption for that middle image. And if there is a date, we ask you to record that as well. Sometimes there's the name of the location and you can record that. Then after you've done that, we'll ask you to go on to tag these photographs. So again, it's similar to what we were doing with the Wikipedia project, where you draw a square around an item within the photograph and then tag that. And we're using Wikidata tags. So if for instance, I could put in window for that middle image. Once you start typing in window, the tag will come up from Wikidata and you'll just click on that tag and then it'll be put into the system. So by taking part in this project, you'll be helping us to put a lot more detail onto these photographs and to help people to search for these photographs. So, you know, if I put in Plas y Bryn, then this particular image will come up on the screen. So people will be able, you know, relatives or people who may live in Plas y Bryn today can just put in Plas y Bryn and they can find out this information then. And we haven't got that sort of information at the moment. So you'll be transcribing titles and tagging items and things seen in the photograph. It could be everyday objects or landmarks or whatever. Felly, dyna beth sydd gyda ni I gynnig I chi dros yr wythnosau a'r misoedd nesaf. Mi byddwch chi'n cael, I ni yn rhoi canllawiau ysgrifenedig ar gyfer pob project. Every project has written guidelines that we can provide you with. In fact, with our crowdsourcing platform, they're available on the platform itself. You just click on help and the guidelines appear there. Does gyda ni ddim lleiafswm amser o ran beth I ni'n gofyn I chi roed I ni. We don't have a minimum time that we want you to commit to us. We're just grateful for any time you can give us. And when we developed the crowdsourcing platform, we never thought so many people would be locked in their homes for such a long time. So you know, if you're looking for something, for a break from if you're working from home or whatever, then this might be something that interests you. I ni'n gallu cael tystysgrifau, os byddwch chi eistedd tystysgrif, cysylltwch â ni, a wedyn gallwn ni anfon taflen i chi wedyn i gadw cofnod o'r oriau i chi'n gweithio, a byddwn ni'n gallu rhoi tystysgrif i chi. If you would like a certificate for the time you give us, then just get in touch with me. I can send you a timesheet for you to fill in to collate your hours, and then we can provide you with the certificate for the National Library of Wales. Just moving on to the next slide. I mentioned once you had worked on an image that this would appear. So these are 3 images that I worked on yesterday, and then underneath the image you'll see well, you see my name there. So that's my username. Gwyneth Davies is my username. But if I didn't want to, you know, if I didn't want Gwyneth Davies up there, you could just put GD up there, whatever. And then people wouldn't be able to associate you with the image. So the platform itself is very safe in that you only use your email and your password to access this, and nobody else can access that information. Yes, so as I said, hopefully it's a good opportunity for us to work in partnership with Digital Communities Wales and some of the other speakers we've heard from this morning. Moving on to the next, this is my contact details, dyma yr e-bost, yn anffodus, dwi ddim ar gael ar y ffôn ar hyn o bryd, ond e-bostiwch fi a mi ddwy'n nôl atoch chi'n sydd. A i ni yma'r cefnogi chi, mae Eilir a fi, dim ond i chi gysylltu a ni, byddwn ni bopeth gallwn ni helpu chi trwy'r broses. We are here to help you, so just drop me an email. The digital imaging tagging one, the first project I talked about, is already on the Volunteering Wales website. And when these next 2 projects are launched, that information will be put up on the Volunteering Wales website as well. There's also, you can also go onto the National Library of Wales website and the volunteering page where there's a bit more information there as well. Felly, dyna ni, gobeithio wedi rhoi rhyw syniadau bach am weithgareddau bydde gobeithio rhan fwyaf o bobl yn gallu i cyflawni nhw os oes amser gyda nhw. Diolch. Thank you.
Diolch, Gwyneth. Trish, os unrhyw beth ydych chi holi i Gwyneth?
No, I've got a comment. I find this really interesting, especially in light of our first lockdown and children being home educated or learning from home. And there was a few projects my son, I have to say, were doing not just in history, but they were doing in Welsh and some actually thema work. That would have been really interesting for me to access the research for these photographs. But by doing that, also encouraging us as a family, maybe volunteering to do some of this tagging, because he would be quite happy to do the boxes around, and maybe I would be more interested in saying, oh, what about this tag and that tag? So I do find this, I'd be suggesting this to our school actually, about using it as a family volunteer opportunity linked with the work that they're doing, particularly in their courses. I think it's a really, really interesting opportunity. And we'll be looking at doing this at home, I have to say, together, and maybe he might help me with my IT skills as well. But brilliant. But
hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll let you know when it's
it's fantastic, brilliant.
Don't forget, on the National Library website, you can access, there's so many of our collections that have been digitized now, so it's always worth going online and having a look at our photographic collections, or archives and manuscripts. There's lots of things online there. Yeah,
that's definitely. Well, my youngest is doing 1960s, and you just mentioned about pictures, so I'm going to be mentioning that to his teacher today. But on another note, there's a question there about software. So when someone has an interest in this role, any of the roles, do they need to have a particular software or download some software, or is it just that they're able to access the internet and simply as that?
Yeah, our crowdsourcing platform doesn't work too well on Internet Explorer for some reason. So it's best that you use Chrome or Safari to access it. And it doesn't work well on mobile phones at the moment. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
That's good to know. That's good to know. That's yeah.
So, I mean, ideally, a PC or a laptop It can be used on a tablet, but it's a little bit more cumbersome. But once you get used to it, it's not so bad. But ideally, a laptop or a PC. But yeah.
Fantastic, brilliant. The other question I had, and a couple of people have asked it today, about everybody's opportunity, really. Do they need to have the most up-to-date software, computer? What if they've got a bit of an older computer and not the most up-to-date packages? Does that affect potentially the opportunities to volunteer with you? So that's a question for everybody, really.
I'm not aware that it affects, but if you're having problems, as I say, just drop us an email, and Eilir, my colleague, is very, very good with IT. I'm in the 60+ age group now, and I'm probably, in fact, later on today, I'm going to have training on using some of our digital resources and stuff. So maybe tomorrow would have been a better time for me to answer this question. But no, we're not aware that any particular software has problems with these. But as I say, get in touch if you're having problems, and I'm going to do my best to help you with. Yeah. Sometimes the resolution of the screen sometimes is enough to sort out some problems we've had. So we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And Ruth, what about with the rest of the opportunities? Can I ask the same question to everybody else, really?
Well, just the only thing I would say is just general web security. If your operating system is out of date, and you need to be looking for an upgrade there. Otherwise, you could be at risk of viruses or whatever. So that's the only thing I would say. It depends on the age of the machine you're using, but just check that your operating system can accept updates on a regular basis. If it's discontinued, you're at risk, really.
Okay, it's a very fair point. But that is something I think that some people have mentioned to us, that they may be also be working from home now, and maybe not using the technology they can bring home with them. So that's a good thing to know. Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Trish. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi, Gwyneth. I think it's been really interesting this morning, because I think for volunteers, especially those volunteers who are pretty much face-to-face volunteers and out in the community, when things changed in March, a lot of volunteers were stood down. Basically, they didn't have anything to do. And when you are on your own, when you are isolated, when you feel very lonely, it's a long time. It's a long time, because when you volunteer, obviously you go out, you do something that you're interested in doing, you're passionate in doing, and you've got a different kind of, you go out there and you meet other people and you're supporting people. So to know that there are such a fantastic variety of digital volunteering opportunities available, it's brilliant. And I know a lot of organisations have had to rethink their services over the last couple of months, and to continue to support the people that they do support. Being a digital volunteer as well, it can really upskill people in their own personal IT skills. You can start being an IT volunteer, I'm sure, with limited ability and limited skills, but the more you do, the more training you go on, you are improving your own skills, you're learning new skills, and you improve yourself. So it's not just about helping other people, but it's also about helping yourself as well, and I think that's really important. Diolch yn fawr iawn I bawb sydd wedi cymryd rhan heddi. Massive thank you to everybody who's taken a part in this CAFO's second virtual volunteering fair today. I don't know if you have any closing comments for everybody who's joined us today and who is listening online as well.
I'd just like to say that obviously there's a mass opportunities here, which is just a dip in the toe, really. Just cyfle, just ysgrifio byr o cyfleoedd sydd ar gael yng Ngheredigion ac tu allan. So if you want to volunteer in any capacity, including digitally, get in touch, cysylltwch â ni, a byddwn ni yma I helpu chi.
Yeah, and as Gwyneth mentioned as well, fel nath Gwyneth sôn, mae na wefan Volunteering Wales website. Please have a look at that website if you're interested in volunteering at all. It's got an array of different kinds of volunteering opportunities up there. It's where we ask organisations to promote their opportunities. It's a one-stop shop that you can just go on, have a look and see what's available at the moment. And the more organisations we get up there, then the easier it'll be for you to find your volunteers. Felly, I gloi, diolch yn fawr iawn I pawb sydd wedi cymryd rhan heddi. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined us today. We're more than happy to share any information that you have regarding your volunteering opportunities. Ni'n mwy na hapus I rhannu unrhyw wybodaeth sydd gyda chi. A os oes unrhyw un yn gwylio, anybody who's viewing and you're thinking about volunteering and you're interested in one of the opportunities that has been spoken about today, if you didn't manage to spot on the chat the links to the various opportunities, please get in touch with us at CAFO. We're a happy, helpful team, and we will be more than happy to support you in your volunteering journey. Ni'n mwy na hapus i'ch cefnogi chi I ddod o hyd I gyfle wirfoddoli I chi. Felly gyda hynny, with that, I'd like to thank you all, and until next time, tan tro nesa, hwyl fawr I chi gyd. Diolch.